This question comes from Matt, who wonders about mounting a flamethrower on the front of a car to melt snow and ice before you drive over it. Then he asked about a high-powered microwave emitter. Believe it or not, Matt, your flamethrower idea is actually more practical than the microwave. The flamethrower at least won't mess with Wi-Fi unless you point it right at the router. I first looked into this back in the winter of 2015, when Boston was buried under an incredible amount of snow. In 30 days, we got more snow than Anchorage typically sees in an entire winter. Transit collapsed and roofs were in danger. The mayor even said at a press conference, "I don't know what to tell anyone anymore, hopefully it will stop." Snow removal was on everyone's mind. The problem is, snow is hard to melt. Microwaves sound appealing because they heat water efficiently, which is why a microwave is great for thawing food. But microwaves are lousy at heating frozen water evenly, which is one reason defrosting in a microwave can be tricky. There are other ways to add energy to snow. Infrared lamps, lasers, or yes, but all of them face a bigger obstacle. It takes a huge amount of energy to melt snow. Melting 1 gram of snow requires about 335 joules. Put differently, a 60-watt incandescent bulb could melt roughly a pound of snow in an hour. A 60-watt equivalent LED would take 6 or 7 hours to melt that same pound. In other words, a single light bulb is a terrible snow. A foot of snow holds about as much water as an inch of rain. So imagine a decent storm dropping a foot of snow, which equates to an inch of water, and you want to melt a 9-foot wide swath while driving at 55 miles per hour. If you multiply all those numbers together, you end up needing about 574 megawatts of power. That's an enormous demand. An aircraft carrier's reactor produces less than 200 megawatts, so you'd need roughly 3 of those to supply the power. Not very practical. What about the flamethrower? Gasoline packs a lot of energy per gallon, but it's still nowhere near efficient enough for continuous melting. With a flamethrower-fed system, you'd burn fuel at an insane rate. Your mileage would plummet. You'd get roughly 17 feet per gallon, and you'd be consuming almost 5 gallons every second. At that point, you're better off abandoning the idea. Rail agencies that need to clear tracks sometimes use jet engine-powered blowers, which work because they displace snow rather than trying to melt it. The real takeaway is that it is far easier to move snow out of the way than to melt it in place. So Matt was right to think a flamethrower is impractical. If you choose a jet engine snowblower, be careful, those can introduce a different set of hazards. But overall, moving the snow wins over melting it.